Well, last time we have had this interaction that if I type something here, so it is going to highlight these words in this sentence. So I'm going to leave it there. So in this example, I'm going to show the tagging part. So let's imagine that this part on the left is the place that I'm going to bring up some text. Okay, so on the right is that I'm going to try to classify these sentences manually. This is the homework that we have to do in the beginning because in the beginning we don't have any classified text and we have to tag these tags according to our criteria. So this is say that so like for the sentence we're going to determine what theme the sentence is about. For example, I can say that this one is about adherence, for example, right? And then I'm going to use the keywords. I'm going to input the keywords here to that are related to this theme. In this case, again, it is adherence, but I can have more other words like compliance, whatever, depending on the text, the nature of the text. All right. So then in that case, I would need to have some fields. For example, I need to add a theme or delete a theme. Yeah. All right. So so I'm going to need to like list out all the theme, and also I need to list out all the keywords related to the theme, and then I can like edit these words, or either by deleting it here, or I'm gonna go to this theme. So input the theme and the keyword to delete that. So I'm gonna have to manage these things. Okay, so in this example, I'm gonna leave aside this part. And to basically just working on the JavaScript part to add these boxes. All right. So the first thing I did is that I copied the example 8 as the example 9, and also going to this Flask environment. I'm going to change that to point it to the example 9. Right. So the second is that, remember, I'm going to make some changes for this PY files. Remember, I said before that it sounds like it is quite clumsy, that every time I change a project, I have to go back into this and try to like modify this again. So I want to optimize that, which means that I want the program to identify which folder it is in, instead of like I have to type it all the time. All right. So to do that, so I might have to change this and replace that with something with a parameter for this init py, but also for this backend, because in the backend I'm also gonna import something, you know. Okay. So in this, but the approach is different. I'm just trying to do the different things here. So the first is that because we already loaded this app Flask, so I have this root path. So that is going to give me some advantage here. So the first is that without changing anything, we're just going to print out what this root path looks like. So I launch it. You will see that here it says the root path is like this. Okay, so the last part is the folder name of what we want to have, which is the project name, right? So because we already have that, then we can split this string by this backslash. All right, so that way we will have a list of all the contents, the segments, split by this backslash, and then we can have the last element of that list. All right, so in Python it's like this. The first is that this is a string, so we're gonna split this root path string by backslash. Then we have the segments, which is the list. Then we're gonna obtain the length of this list, and we're gonna have the last element, which is the length minus 1. You know, the index is the length minus 1 of this list. Okay, so we're gonna bring it up and see how it looks like. We're gonna clean it up and bring it back. So you will see that the root passes like this, and the current project name is example 09. This is exactly what we want. Okay. So can we like replace this example O8 with this current project name? It doesn't work because, you know, this is a string and this is an object. So we cannot directly replace the example O8 with this project name. Instead, we're gonna treat the whole line as a string and use the command line called execute to run the string. So instead, so we're gonna do it like that. And by the way, it does not work if you use evaluate here. Okay, it only works to use this the execute method. All right. So with this, now I have replaced this example O8, or in this case, it should be O9, right? With the current project name. So that one is made into the parameter. So next time when I have a new example, like example 10, I don't have to go back and change this name so manually. Okay, so just to avoid mistake, I'm gonna put it as 09. All right. So anyway, so we're gonna bring it up, and it says it's an error. Well, I'm pretty sure that this error is not caused by this line, but rather in this backend, I also have to make change accordingly. So like, all right, so I'm just gonna, for the time being, I'm just gonna manually change this to example 9. Then I'm gonna CNS and run this to see if it works. Yes, it works. So it means that so I have to, you know, change this to example 9 as well. But this is a problem because, you know, in this backend file, I also want to change this from this hard coding to some parameters so that I don't have to manually change that, you know. And this is not even right. Okay. Yeah. So must specify the project name. Yeah, project name. All right. So then there is a problem here because, you know, you have to, like, can we do the same trick, like going back? Like we'll try to find the segment according to like we're gonna try to get the segment according to this app's root path. But there's a problem is that the first, and to obtain the root path, you have to import the app flask first. And to import the app flask, you have to know the current project name. So it's like a circle, you know. To obtain this project name, you have to import app flask. And to import this app flask, you have to know the project. So that does not work. So alternatively, the other way is that we're gonna, yeah. So alternatively, we have to, we can get the path of this file, which is this backup file. So this one is to get the path of this file. So this part is to get a path of this file, which is this file, as in an Windows path object. So it is not a string, and it has to be use this method to convert it to a string. So let's make a let's just print it out to see how it looks like. Yeah. Also, for getting the path, I need to have this package called pathlib. Right. So now let's just go back and run it again. So you will see the path of this file is in this blah blah blah, and example 09. All right. So I might have skipped it a little bit. So if you have this part, it's gonna have the full path as well as the file name of this file. Okay. And then if you have the parent, it goes to this folder name instead of the file name. And then you resolve that, you're gonna have a Windows object, and then use this part to change that to the string. So that's how it works out. And now we have the path, and the path is like this, and we want to have this part. So for the rest of the things, we can do the same trick. Is that we can use a the split method to split this path, but this time it's not from this this flex root path, but the path of this file. Okay, so we're going to split that, and then the same trick is that we're going to get the last element of this list, the segments list. All right, and that will be this file name. So I'm just gonna put a line here and say, yeah, so this project name. Okay, then I'm gonna have this. Okay, so without changing anything, so we're gonna have the project name of this. Let's just bring it back and see. Yeah, so this project name is example 09, so it works. And now the same trick is that instead of having this line, we're going to comment that, but we're going to have a line by this execute command from the current object to import the app flex. All right. So then we're going to do the same trick, and this time because we already calculated that current project, we don't have to do that again. So we can just cite that current project. And remember, it's the beautiful thing is that you can also cite, like a module inside this file. It's the same principle. You just have to like change that into a string and use the execute comment to do it. So it sounds like there's a problem because it sounds like so it does not recognize well for this get signs, because now it cannot see that where is this get signs, but it's okay, it's not a problem. So after executing this line, so it will find this function, so it's not a problem. So let's bring it back, and now it works. Okay, so this one shows that actually yeah, so from now on, so I don't have to specify that name again, that project name again. It's going to be done by this parameters, which is good. Okay, now we're going to move on to add the stuff that I mentioned. So I'm going to leave this part alone, but I'm going to add more things. And for the rest of the things, I think I'm going to put that in a separate video, which is to basically just working on the JavaScript part.